Good evening, everyone. My name is Shreya Durvasula, and I'm excited to be here today. Before our program kicks off, let's get into our Zoom housekeeping. So we have speakers who will be highlighted or spotlit during this presentation and should be most visible on your screen along with a slide. If that isn't true for you, you can also select speaker view. Please feel invited to update your Zoom screen name with your pronouns, as I have done, and introduce yourself in the chat. Who are you? How are you joining us? Where are you calling from? A reminder that this presentation is being recorded, and I want to acknowledge a deep gratitude to both current and former Rachel's Network staff who've made this program possible. Okay, so let's get into it.
Whoa.
As the award director here at Rachel's Network, I have the honor of administering the Catalyst Award each year. Data show us that women of color are the strongest supporter of environmental action, yet they receive less than 1% of US Foundation grants. Rachel's Network is changing that. 6 years ago, we created the Catalyst Award to support mid-career environmental leaders of color. These women are advocating for clean air and water, addressing climate impacts, advancing civic participation, and building a just and green economy. And since then, the award has moved more than $1.7 million to 120 women leaders and their organization. And today, we're thrilled to announce our 2024 slate of awardees and finalists. It's been an honor to step into the director role and see how our Rachel's Network values of justice and equity and care have been integrated into every aspect of this award. It started off as a one-off $10,000 prize, and now it's a multi-year investment in leadership, providing $75,000 per awardee over the course of 3 years, coaching services and leadership development. And we also provide $2,500 to each of our finalists. This is our first ever live announcement of the awardees, so thank you for joining us. We have an incredible program lined up for you. And with that, I'll hand the mic over to our first presenter, Rachel's Network Board Chair and longtime champion of the Catalyst Award, Kev Kasten, to kick off the introduction of our first 5 of our 14 finalists. Kev?
Thank you so much, Shreya. And hello, everybody. It's wonderful to see so many people joining us today. So as Shreya said, I'm board chair at Rachel's Network, and I fund Catalyst because we've been listening to women of color, like so many on this call today, who are leading in the environmental movement. And what they have told us is this is what's needed. And so I'm stepping up to do what's needed, and that is to invest in women of color who are so much at the forefront of and critical to environmental change that we need to see and we need to celebrate. So supporting Catalyst gives me hope and joy at the end of the day. And it is my pleasure, in that spirit of hope and joy, to introduce our first 5 finalists. So our first finalist is from my state of California. Based in Oakland, Sylvia Chi is an attorney and client and environmental justice expert. She leads policy advocacy and implementation for the California Public Banking Alliance. And Sylvia previously served as policy director for the Asian Pacific Environmental Network. Finalist number 2 is Patricia Garcia Nelson, who works at Green Latinos as the Colorado fossil fuel just transition advocate. She works to raise awareness about the health impacts of fracking in residential areas and served as an interpreter and translator for nonprofits and small businesses. In 2017, Patricia was a plaintiff in a case against the Colorado Oil and Gas Conservation Commission. Heading to Dallas, Texas, our next finalist is Marcia Jackson, the founder and executive director of Southern Sector Rising. SSR is a nonprofit that fights inequality in Dallas through education, coalition and power building, advocacy, and mutual aid. Marcia was also featured in Soledad O'Brien's BET documentary, Disrupt and Dismantled. Hold on, I have to change my page. Somehow I'm not getting there. I'm really sorry. Hang on one second. There we go. Our fourth finalist is Adrienne Kilsnight, also known as Blackbird Woman. She is a wildlife biologist for her tribe, the Northern Cheyenne, and along with partners, she co-leads the development of a conservation and restoration plan for the black-footed ferret, one of the most endangered mammals in North America. Just pausing for a second, excuse me. Natalie Meebane, I'm going to mispronounce this and I really apologize.
Natalie Meebane.
Meebane, thank you. From Washington, D.C., is the Vice President of Government Affairs for Rise to Thrive, where she works to build an environmental movement that truly fights for the people most harmed by fossil fuels and climate change. Rachel's Network is excited to host Natalie in DC at our in-person event on October 7th, and we hope some of you on this call can make it. So those are the first 5 finalists, and now I'll turn it back to you, Shreya.
Thank you so much. As you can see from the first batch of finalists, our Catalyst winners work in their communities all over the country on a variety of environmental issues and use a diversity of strategies to push for climate legislation, environmental protections, and healthier neighborhoods. This year, we had almost 200 applicants for the award, which is a record number. And from that pool, our team of reviewers, which was staff, advisors, former Catalyst awardees and finalists, board members, they had the difficult task of narrowing down a truly impressive group to the 19 women you're meeting tonight. And our next speaker is one such reviewer. Kim Milligan is also a Rachel's Network board member and supporter of the Catalyst Award. Welcome, Kim, as she introduces the next 5 finalists.
Thanks so much, Shreya, and just my true pleasure to be here and with all of you today. I've been grateful to be a part of the Catalyst Award program since its founding because I believe at a really deep level that investing in and supporting women of color leaders like the ones that we're honoring this evening is the best way to make the changes in the world that we want to see, that we need to see for a thriving planet. So just really grateful to be part of all of this and part of the celebration of all of these amazing finalists and awardees. Our 6th finalist is also an organizer fighting fossil fuel infrastructure. Based in Chicago, Tassine Morgi leads the Sierra Club's Illinois chapter's federal action team. Her work was key in building support for climate provisions in the Inflation Reduction Act. Tassine also helps support the chapter's electoral program, so important these days, which endorses and helps elect climate champions to office. Shamika Nichols is the executive director of Solidarity, an organization in Highland Park, Michigan, working on energy, democracy, and community-owned solar. Under her guidance, Solidarity empowers divested communities and fosters self-determination. Jacqueline Omotalade is the Climate Investments National Director at Green for All. Based in Pittsburgh, she leads the organization's Justice 40 agenda, ensuring that the Inflation Reduction Act benefits communities disproportionately affected by poverty and pollution. Jacqueline's career highlights include spearheading first in the nation environmental policies as the president of San Francisco's Environmental Commission. From Pittsburgh, we go to Uniontown, Alabama. Portia Shepard is the founder and executive director of Black Belt Women Rising, where she works with the citizens of the Black Belt region to fight for health and environmental improvements and gender equality. Their focus areas are on domestic violence, HIV awareness, poverty, and the environment. And Gwen Smith founded the Collier Heights Association for Revitalization, Resilience, and Sustainability, also known as CHARS. CHARS is committed to environmental justice as well as social and health equity. Through CHARS, Gwen hopes to address health disparities in African American and other marginalized communities. Just want to offer a huge and heartfelt congratulations to all of the finalists and awardees. It was a true honor to be a reviewer. Thank you.
Hi, thank you, Kim. My name's Erica. I'm the Communications and Advocacy Director here at Rachel's Network on the staff. In addition to the financial resources and community support, another way the Catalyst program supports awardees and finalists is through publicity. And we hope that you can help us get the word out on social media. And I'll be sharing some links a little bit later in the chat, or by sharing the email announcement that we're planning to send everyone later this week. Now I'm happy to share our next group of finalists that you see on the screen. First up is Isabel Solario, the president and co-founder of the grassroots group Community United, whose mission is to improve the quality of life and conditions in Lanier, California. Isabel is a proud Mexican immigrant dedicated to advancing the human right to water in the Central Valley and confronting the climate crisis. Next is Diamond Spratling, founder of Girl Plus Environment, which educates and empowers Black and Brown women and non-binary individuals to advocate for climate and environmental justice in their communities. Diamond was also recently appointed to the City of Atlanta Clean Energy Advisory Board. Next up, we have Amy Stelly. Amy is an artist, designer, and planner, and a proud president of the Treme Lafitte neighborhood in New Orleans. Amy is a co-founder of the Claiborne Avenue Alliance, a coalition of residents, businesses, owners, and professionals dedicated to the restoration of the Claiborne corridor, and also to providing access to the language of design and land use for all. And finally, last finalist on the screen here is Candace Youngblood, an environmental justice activist and attorney from the greater Los Angeles area. In addition to being an attorney for Earth Justice, Candace founded Youth en Route to empower frontline youth in California to advocate for their communities through an innovative environmental justice leadership program. Sending all my heartfelt congratulations to these finalists and awardees. And with that, I'll hand it back to Shreya.
Wow, I mean, just incredible. In addition to the financial support, these incredible finalists will also join the broader Rachel's Network community, access to our programming and events. And this is not the last time you're going to hear about these finalists. Over the next few weeks and months, we'll shine a light on these leaders on Rachel's Network social media platforms, as Erica mentioned. So be sure to follow us on Instagram, Threads, LinkedIn, and Facebook to learn more about these women and the organizations they lead. We support and uplift them because true progress can only be made by addressing these systemic barriers together. So let's take a moment to celebrate these amazing finalists. Using those Zoom reactions, type your favorite emojis in the chat, send those reactions. Let's show some love and appreciation for these leaders. So here at Rachel's Network, we really embrace the tenets of trust-based philanthropy. And the Catalyst Award is the way that we live into these values. At its core, trust-based philanthropy is about redistributing power, systemically, organizationally, and interpersonally. On a practical level, this means multi-year unrestricted funding, streamlined applications and reporting, and a commitment to building relationships based on transparency, dialogue, and mutual learning. It also means a commitment to participatory grant making. Each of the awardees were selected by a committee made entirely of former Catalyst awardees, women of color who are leaders themselves, who have been in the movement and been doing the work. And I want to just take a moment to acknowledge the hours of labor and heart and insight and sweat and tears and passion that our selection committee members gave to this process. I swear, I feel like this decision gets harder every year, and I don't know how you all do it. So thank you, and please join me in giving this year's committee, you see on the screen here, a big round of applause. And with that, I'll turn it over to our first representative from the committee, 2021 Catalyst awardee, Dr. Nataki Osborne-Jones.
Thank you, Shreya. My name is Nataki Osborne-Jelks. I'm co-founder and executive director of the West Atlanta Watershed Alliance, affectionately known as WAWA, and I'm honored to welcome our first awardee. Ayana Jolivet McLeod. Working at the intersection of environment, advocacy, and art, Ayana is the executive director of Bayou City Waterkeeper, where she collaboratively advocates for urban water management, flood mitigation, wetland protection, and water quality, centering environmental justice and climate resilience. In her leadership, she has grown the organization, resulting in expanded staff, deeper community engagement, increased legal enforcement and litigation, new data to action community science tools, and new policy efforts. Ayana has centered cultural strategies and narrative change in her leadership by prioritizing language justice, de-jargonizing water policy, and the launch of the organization's first ever Artist in Residence program. Prior to her work at Bayou City Waterkeeper, she developed the inaugural environmental education program at Houston Botanic Garden and founded La Botanica, a cross-disciplinary creative studio at Project Row Houses. Ayana is also a visual artist, writer, and mother, and enjoys learning about her watershed and basketball with her son. So now I'd love to turn it over to Ayana to make some brief remarks.
Thank you so much, Nataki, and what an honor to be introduced by you. And just really love your work, and just happy to have my board chair on here, Jolia Payne, who has reminded me of like just the beautiful work of Wawa. We talked about Wawa a few years ago, so just honored to be here and just happy to have our board members and friends here to support. I acknowledge just the labor of that went into this process. And I'm so filled with gratitude. In this year of the dragon, you know, it has been a up and down year, a very full year. And so this means so much to me just to get this affirmation. It's like a hug, you know, to sort of, you know, in these roles, you build so much, you're doing, you know, so much in terms of sort of the labor piece, that we often are thinking about sort of the outputs. And so the inputs, when we receive them, these sorts of nods and affirmations mean a lot. I just want to sort of just really quickly acknowledge just the labor of this work as women of color, that the labor that we bring into this work is difficult to sort of explain, because not only are we building the new, but we're also repairing the bad. We are fixing so much harm that is taking place in our land and waterscapes and in our communities. And so that labor is multifold, and especially for Black women as well. And so I just want to acknowledge that labor. For me, from a water perspective, coming from a city like Houston, Houston is also known as a Bayou City. And so water is so critical. We know that Houston is the home of unfortunately, the largest flood event in US history. We've seen these images of Houston being on the front lines of communities, so we can't forget about water. We have to sort of think about water as we think about these policy solutions that my team has been advocating for through at Bayou City Waterkeeper. I'm so proud to sort of build this team that reflects the demographics and the needs of our community. But we also have to think about narrative change and reconnecting and restoring our relationship to water. We can't advocate for what we don't know. And so how do we restore connections to water, to land and waterscapes, and simultaneously fight for just and greener policies? So I'm really grateful for this. And I just want to just remind ourselves of our connections to water, to land, and just acknowledge the beautiful labor that goes into this work that we so often forget in doing this work. And this means so much to me. So deep gratitude.
Thank you so much. And what a beautiful reminder. I don't think we can get reminded enough of those connections and that labor. Congratulations again, Ayana. Our next speaker is 2023 awardee, Nsé Obat Witherspoon.
Hi, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here. I am also filled with an incredible amount of joy and just humility. It's amazing to be among everyone, and the love is definitely present. Again, I'm Insay Oba-Witherspoon, the Executive Director of the Children's Environmental Health Network, and I'm honored to present our second award recipient, Gianna Young. From an early age, Gianna has always been inspired by the ocean, the surfing, to canoeing, paddling, and fishing. She was born and raised in Honolulu, Hawaii, and is a sustainable seafood senior manager at Conservation International's Hawaii program. Her primary role is leading collaborative, local, sustainable seafood initiatives, including seafood traceability, promoting the consumption and market demand for the blue striped snapper, and reducing seafood waste. She enjoys surfing, hunting, fishing, and cooking all kinds of invasive species, whether it be wild pigs and deer or the blue striped snapper. Gianna is a graduate of the Panau School and the University of Portland's Hamplin School of Business and Marketing and Sustainability. Gianna, big congratulations to you and all of our award recipients. Please, the floor is yours.
And say, and congratulations, Ayana, and the rest of the finalists and awardees. This is a big honor for me. I think I might be the first person from Hawaii to receive a Rachel's Award, so I'm really stoked on this opportunity. And thank you, Shreya, and the whole Rachel's Network. I'm just really excited to learn more about the Rachel's Network and be part of this incredible community and hopefully represent Hawaii and the Pacific in this broader network that is so diverse. I think I just want to give a big shout out to Rachel Wong, who I think is on the call still. I don't typically look out for opportunities like this, but Rachel actually encouraged me to apply, and if it weren't for her, I wouldn't be in this position today. So I'm really grateful for Rachel for encouraging me to step out of my comfort zone and to apply for something different. And like Ayana said, there's a lot of labor and commitment and dedication to doing the work that we do. And I think in Hawaii, there's so many needs in our community when it comes to conservation and our fisheries and food security. And that's kind of the intersection of what I work with is working with commercial fishers and seafood businesses, retailers, pretty much everyone who touches seafood in Hawaii. And so I'm really grateful to be able to do the work that I get to do and working with the community here to increase food security and just instill a deeper level of collaboration within our food system. And with that, I think my sister's on the call. I just wanted to give a shout out to my family. But yeah, I think just being able to represent Hawaii is a big honor with the Rachel's Network, and I'm excited to be on this journey with you guys. Congratulations, everybody. I'll hop it over to Ensei again and Shreya.
Thank you. And thank you, Jenna, for your remarks and for reminding us, as even though that these are individual awards, a big shout out to families and friends and partners and children and aunties and community that have been able to support all the incredible work that you and others do as well. One quick note I'll share is that I did all the interviews of all of the finalists. They got to deal with me during the process before the selection committee. And I had to quickly learn to turn my camera off because my face could not stop reacting, but also I would start crying in the middle of the incredible interviews and I'm gonna tear up again. So thank you again. Our third presenter is Corrine Talo. Corrine is a Catalyst Awardee from 2020.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Corrine Talo, and I'm currently the Associate Director for the Office of Community Engagement at the U.S. Department of Energy. And I'm incredibly honored to participate on the selection committee this year. And it's my pleasure to also introduce our third awardee, Ms. Joy Gary. From seed to fork and from grassroots to beltway, our third awardee is passionate about food and community development. As the Executive Director of Boston Farms Community Land Trust, Joy, along with her team, work to reclaim land, to build and to protect farms across Boston that are under community control and for the benefit of Black and Brown neighborhood farmers. After studying culinary management, she dedicated her time to supporting regenerative system development, food justice, and education through agricultural projects. Joy has long been interested in creating opportunities for residents to create community sufficiency, build entrepreneurial capacity, and generational wealth. Joy connects her work to regional lifestyle systems designed by serving on the steering committee for Food Solution New England, the South New England Farmers of Color Collaborative, and the Greater Boston Community Land Trust Network. Congratulations, Joy.
Thank you so much, Corinne, Shreya, and the selection committee and the entire Rachel's Network team. I am humbled and honored to receive the Catalyst Award and to be named among such inspirational change makers that exude strength and wisdom and power. I'm excited to be welcomed within this network and am looking forward to transforming and restoring our planet alongside you. I also just want to give honor both to God and to my mom, because the strength that she has exuded over the years is what has kept me going. She grew up on a sharecropping farm in Arkansas and worked her way through various elements of the educational sphere. And seeing her work has inspired me to see what is possible to happen in our communities. She fought for a lot of change in the housing community in our area, and it was seeing her talking about the land and work on helping people in housing and understanding food that inspired me to do the work that I do. So just want to honor her and also congratulate all of the other awardees. Looking forward to working with you all.
Thank you so much, Joy. Really appreciate your remarks, and it is an honor to have you here with us. Next, I'd like to welcome Anel Hernandez. Oh, no, Anel Hernandez, one of our very first Catalyst awardees from 2019.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Anel Hernandez, and I'm calling in today from Brooklyn, New York. I am proud to continuously champion environmental justice here in my city and know that I'm doing it in community with all of you who are fighting across the country. It's just really inspiring to read about your work and hear from you directly today. And so now I'm very excited and happy to introduce our next awardee. Marissa Merkuliev is an enrolled tribal member of the federally recognized tribe, the Aleut community of St. Paul Island in the Bering Sea. She was raised on St. Paul in a commercial halibut fishing family and remains deeply connected to the island. Marissa received her Juris Doctorate in 2004 with a dual certificate in Indian law and law, science, and technology with an environmental law specialization. After law school, she worked as a legal advisor with the Waikato Tanui Maori tribe in New Zealand on environmental management issues related to their ancestral river. As the director of the Office of Justice and Governance Administration for the tribal government of St. Paul, Marissa works fiercely to represent the tribal government on the national level in an effort to build and enhance self-governance, economic strength and stability, and secure health and welfare resources for the Aleut people residing on the remote Bering Sea island. Many, many congratulations, Marissa. And I invite you to say a few remarks. I'm excited to hear from you.
Hi, good evening. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful and so honored to be a part of this network and an awardee. I have to say, I think Ayana, she did such a great job. I'm glad she opened this up. But she said that this acknowledgement and award, it's like a hug. And I think that was like a perfect capturing, because for us as Indigenous people and as a tribe, I think we've been at the losing end for centuries, generations of our environmental management and resource management. And it could definitely be discouraging and disheartening doing this fight, watching my parents do the fight, my grandparents, and sometimes it feels like we're just not getting anywhere. So perfect time for this hug. And I can't wait to meet some amazing women and people and hopefully get a real physical hug. I think, working for my tribe, we have to capture all aspects of health and wellness for our people and worry about everything that goes on in individual lives and a community life. And I think we all know, without a healthy ecosystem, healthy resources that we've depended on for centuries, our people can't be healthy. And that's really what we're fighting for out in the Bering Sea. And we are always quick to align with other Indigenous people and tribes to fight for anything we can to help better our management of our resources. And I'm just really, really thankful to be here, and I can't wait to meet everybody.
We can't wait to meet you either. We're really excited to welcome everyone into this warm community. I want to offer another sincere thanks to our incredible selection committee members for their heart, insight, and dedication. Truly, I think it's a testament. We're seeing such a vibrant community in part because of your generosity. For our final awardee this evening, please welcome Daphne Sanchez, 2021 Catalyst Awardee.
Thank you, and hi everyone. I want to definitely echo a lot of what the prior awardees are saying. This particular community has been something very, very special to me. It's a place where you're not going to feel alone. It's a place where you can, brainstorm and think about ideas and really feel like you're not going crazy because you're the only one in your space or in your region doing something. I'm really excited to be here with you all to announce the fifth awardee, Renee Reynolds. Renee is someone who I've seen and is incredibly inspiring. She is the executive director of the Tri-State Transportation Campaign, really driving equity. And a lot of people talk about equity, but Renee actually does it and makes sure it happens. The Tri-State Transportation Campaign is championing equity in New York City for the past 30 years. In the past 3 years, she has been spearheading as the ED, supporting multi-stakeholder teams across the state to create new and innovative campaigns tackling equity and justice in the transportation space. Her work has transcended ensuring that environmental impacts from the transportation sector is really centered in addressing environmental justice disparity from air to greenhouse gas reduction from cars and trucks, and the lack of access of affordable public transit. Prior to being at the Tri-State Transportation Campaign, Renee served as a transportation planner for NEJA, which is a phenomenal organization here in New York City, which stands for the New York City Environmental Justice Alliance, where her work really helped the MTA commit to 100% zero emissions fleet by 2040. Her experience as an environmental justice advocate frames the lens and approach of her work today and amplifies voices that we don't normally hear. And it's been amazing to see and really excited to have Renee join us as she continues to amplify those voices of everyday peoples who's impacted by transportation. I want to give a warm welcome and a congratulations to Renee.
Thank you so much, Daphne. Shout out Nija fam. I don't know what to say other than I am filled with so much gratitude to be a part of this network. So thank you to, and congratulations to all the finalists and awardees and members of the selection committee. So I'm actually hailing you guys from Austin, Texas today. I'm currently attending and participating in the Move America conference, which is a conference that's focused on the entire ecosystem of mobility. They have a very strong focus on technology, so it's a very odd space for me to be in, super tech heavy. But yeah, I'm filled with so much gratitude, and I just have to take a moment to shout out my friend, my compadre, my sister, Anel Hernandez, who I had the privilege of working with when I was at NEJA. You know, Anel is a very special person to me because she's a force and she sees something in me and I see the same in her. So thank you so much, Anel, for being such a strong rock and supporter for me. So oftentimes this work can feel really isolating, particularly when you're entering spaces that you don't necessarily see your identity in, and you don't see your experiences reflected. So in just this one call, and I feel like Sharia, I'm about to start crying. Lord. In this one call, I feel like, oh, no, I'm not alone. There's so many women across the country that are doing this amazing work, and it can feel like an uphill battle. You can feel like you're alone, but I'm just reflecting on the fact that I'm not alone, and my family is with me. My ancestors are with me. Everyone who has come before me and fought through trials and tribulations have propelled me and given me the energy that I need to take on this work. So I'll stop there before I completely lose it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Renee. This is Fern. I'm the president of Rachel's Network, and I want to help us wrap up today. First, by thanking everyone who's joined us on this call. Congratulations to all the finalists and awardees, and thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. Thank you as well to anyone who was a reviewer in this process. Thank you to the selection committee. We've already heard how hard that work is, and I can't imagine being someone who had to make those decisions. So thank you for your thoughtfulness and wisdom. Thank you to the funders who make this award possible and other supporters. I want to give a shout out to Jamie Bays on staff who has made the tech for all of this possible. And another really sincere thank you to Shreya Durvasula, who has spent the last year running this award and made this evening this joyous opportunity to celebrate so many critical leaders of the environmental movement. For those of you who don't know, the funding for this award has been to date by Rachel's Network members. And we have a goal to grow this program. We want to increase the support to remarkable leaders like all the women who you've met this evening. We want to reach more women, environmental change makers, who are the leaders for building a healthy planet for us. If you're a funder, we can only do that with your help. So if tonight's stories inspire you, we encourage you to not only consider contributing to this award, but also sharing this work with your network. Let others, supporters and funders know that this is an opportunity where they can really make a difference in supporting visionary women, environmental leaders. As Shreya said at the start, this is not the last time you're going to hear from these women. We have lots of plans to make sure that you hear more about their work and have opportunities to support their work. So stay tuned for that. There will be a recording that we will share of this event. Be sure to take an opportunity to think about who you know in your networks who might want to know more about this award and share it with them. I think together we can expand this award and reach more women, and make sure that that the women on this call, but all the women who are out there leading fights for our planet, have the resources they need to do the work they need and the care and support that they need from a community like this. So with that, before we sign off, what we want to do is take a moment so that we can all be together in community. So I encourage you, if you've got your video off, to flip it back on. Take yourself off mute. This is our opportunity to applaud and cheer everyone who is on this call, all of awardees, all of the finalists, everyone who's been involved in this. Please join me in celebrating this incredible group of leaders.
Congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congrats. Your work is amazing.
Congratulations,
Well done.
Thanks for being with us tonight. Thanks, everybody. What a joyous event.
Ha ha ha.